Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back to my art YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a review of the last week and a bit's work. I've started a new daily drawing project that I'm really into at the moment. Fingers crossed, can I keep it going? So I wanted to sort of share that. I've been sharing it on Patreon and on Substack, like using the notes feature, because I thought it was a good way of sort of being accountable daily for the time being. But I thought, I was thinking about doing an artist vlog, and then I still got my youngest has only just resumed school this morning, so I haven't really been videoing snippets of video that would make a good vlog. So I was like, let's just talk about my project and look at the work I've made in case it's helpful for anyone else who's getting back into an art regime or an art practice. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So my first week back, I decided I'm doing weekly themes, and I went for the first week of daily drawing was to make a piece of what I called ugly abstract art every day. It was turned out to be every early morning, really. And that way it was, I had a really good week. I think I'll come back to this as a theme in later weeks, because it was such an easy and achievable project for me to start with, especially with kids still off school and just, that whole sort of frenetic getting back into a routine. And I used, for this project, I used 2 sketchbooks I sort of was alternating between. I didn't really give myself any limits apart from the theme topic. And it was mixed media. I used mainly my altered abstract sketchbook and this sort of cheap one I've talked about before. I've got lots of sketchbook tools of these, this abstract sketchbook. Now, the only problem is it's a bit tricky to show because I dip into this one and just start a page randomly. I think this is probably from that week. Oh, here we go. So this isn't any order. I thought it'd be nice, isn't it, if I could do it in order. If you want to see the exact order, go to Substack notes. But and also if you're a Patreon member. In general, so this is from the 18th. What did I put? Oh yeah. So then this one was one of the ones I think at the last end of the week, and it has an Inktense background because I'm wanting to try. I think I might make a video on Inktense because I've got a set of blocks. I even got the pencils. I think I might have been persuaded by other artists, and I sort of wanted them as gifts from, I sort of got gifts over the last few years, and I just haven't really used them. And I think I was a bit worried that, I don't know, I was struggling to use them, so I gave myself a sort of a challenge to incorporate them into more work, and I am finding ways of using them. And so yeah, this is Inktense, and you can't really see. I think it's covered up the font fairly well. And I was then sort of, with an abstract way, just testing out other materials on top of it. So I think there's some Posca pen and oil pastel worked well, some Prismacolor. One thing which was interesting I wanted to see is these are meant to be what's the word, I guess permanent once they're laid down, or they can't really be reactivated, and that is true. But I did notice, like, when I really went in with I haven't got any water, but like a wet brush, you can still really try hard, lift up some, but on the whole, obviously they're different to watercolor and gouache. So that was one of the pages I did. Let's see, I'm not sure I'm going to find all of them. Okay, I think this was during the week as well. Some days, it's interesting actually, because if you wake up early, I like to come out now, especially because it was the holiday still, come out and get my art done like at 5 in the morning, because it's quiet, no one's around. But I have artificial light then, really. So it's interesting to see these when I do them in the first thing in the morning and then come in later and I have a look at them, because yeah, it's just an interesting way of I think it's fun to still make art when you can. And why I like this project is when you say to yourself, I know there's a few videos and articles on this very topic at the moment, and I've got to be honest with you, I haven't watched them fully or read them, but I guess from my point of view, this is something I've done before as well. And for me, the reason I like doing ugly, bad art is there is no expectation on myself then. There isn't that if you're trying to draw, you know, a still life well or a portrait with a likeness. With this sort of art, you have zero expectation, and I'd say 90% of the time I am actually pleased, if not more, sometimes more excited than I would have been had I, you know, I can see, I just like what I end up with, because I guess I'm freer, I'm looser, and it doesn't seem that, you know, awful to me. And also I know if I really, really, really hate it, I know ways now of covering this up and reusing these surfaces. So yeah, like this page I really like, and I think I played around here with some sort of, was that Posca? And then I just sometimes, because it's the morning, I don't have time necessarily to get out a palette, and you know, some of these are done really quickly, so you can just, I actually dab on paint now and just spread it if I want to cover bits up and just experiment. And then I don't have to, you know, use old bits of paper. And I haven't got, especially with acrylics or you know, I haven't got brushes or palettes to have to worry about washing up. I really do like a little bit of collage. I had some, actually I'll show you this, this is related to something I did, but I have these sort of like works on paper sometimes, and I sometimes just cut them up when I'm bored of them, and then I can add them into my book. Okay, I put, this is a mess. Yeah, this side turned out messy. I had a go at putting some oil pastel on, and then I think I've covered it with some clear. My new best friend is clear gesso. It's because I've been using, obviously I made that video on, well, not obviously, but I did make I've been into using some soft oil pastels, and I want to use them more in sketchbooks. So I've been trying to look at ways of covering them. This one was super quick. This was just a cut up abstract. I know a lot of people do this, I just reassembled it. But yeah, I mean, the interesting, I put here, if I'd had more time, like if I wanted to play more, you could look at ways of, because obviously it looks like a cut up collage, but you can sometimes, I've done this with other work, is you then link bits, so you make it into its own piece. I think, oh no, I did, oh, this was probably maybe been the start. What was it? I can't remember. Okay, this one is one of my favourite pages. Something worked out well with them, with a bit of collage. There's a bit of text coming through. I like this page. I found these two colours very pleasing, which is why I want to also, this is just a fun sketchbook. I also, when I feel like it, make notes. I put here, oh, can I get back to being creative every day? So this was like near the start of the project. This is an old sketchbook that I made a video on where I cut it up. I keep some of the nice sketches and I sort of add them to other sketchbooks, but I have actually some sort of old papers I've got for collaging. So I just you can sort of see the little people that I sketched from the coal train, and I wanted to even include my writing from that, but at the same time now it's its own piece. Kind of like this one as well. This was using up, I should make notes, this was using up old acrylic gouache quickly. And then I came back in and I just added some more bits of collage, a little bit of washi tape. I think I just did, sometimes I did an extra. Yeah, as you can see, the problem with this is I'm going to have to stick post-it notes if I want to talk about it properly, because it's very haphazard. Then I did a few pages. In some of those sometimes it's nice to have blank paper. So this is oil, I think this is oil pastel, and this is a 6 AM right hand non-dominant drawing. And I put, what is it? This type of drawing always feels like an exercise. Yeah, because my arm, I'm sure I could strengthen it. It just feels so unnatural for me, to be honest with you. I'm such a, you know, gravitate. I hope I could retrain my right hand should I need to. I know a lot of artists do if they have problems with their dominant hand. But yeah, this was fun, and I just used markers. I had fun, like if you did do the markers, I covered it up with some oil pastel, just the Pentel ones, because I don't really need to fix them. Rubbed over it. Oh, that's funny. You know, you rub over, there's a collage bit don't know where it's from, somewhere in this book, and then I rubbed over it and I liked the effect, and it just reminded me of that leaf rubbing, and I could do that more in work. I think maybe it's the start, I discussed this in a Substack post, but maybe it is the start of term, that whole back to school feeling. I have school age kids. I know not everyone's going to have that feeling, maybe the end of summer. I do feel that whole fresh, like wanting, energized. I'm going with it. I'm in the creative flow, so let's go with it. But I'm hopefully designing a project for myself that won't put me under too much pressure, but that will also help me. We'll see. I don't think it's just draw. I feel like I want to make a video one day on how one should I believe that it's good to do both things, like romanticize your art or take your art seriously. I might do a video on why you should do that, but also why you should also not take your art seriously and have a laugh with your art, because it is just drawing, and it's lovely, and I'm grateful sometimes just to be able to make work, laugh at my work. It doesn't have to be like too deep, especially when you're other things going on. Good. So this is another rather messy page that I actually again like personally. Some days I did extra, so this isn't all related. Some days, because I was so into it and I'd made the work so early, I could still, between kids coming over, I'm keeping an ear out in case my youngest comes back, but kids running in and out, I could make work, because I think, as I say, abstract work is great for me because I don't feel that frustration. Sometimes if I was working, especially when I was working on these portraits of the kids, I'd feel really frustrated if I had to stop when I was in my flow or something came up, but this sort of work not. Just wanted to show this quickly because, one day then I went on I wanted to work bigger, so I wanted to, see, there's a bit of collage here. This was just fun and I like it. So just how you can, the sketchbook work can influence more work. Could I then take that into an even bigger piece? Could I paint in that style? Okay, what I want to mention now, so that was week 1. I'm sort of a few days into week 2, and the topic for week 2, I gave myself the topic of sort of making daily drawing, making loose artwork from old sketches. So have to bear with me again because I'm trying to remember where some of the art is down here on the floor. What did I do? Now this isn't day 1, this is day 2. I'm trying to do it in a little bit of vague order. That's week. Okay, this is when I started. This was Monday. And where is the sketch? I did it from this one. So I've got this, I feel like you've all seen, if you've watched my channel, you may not have. I have this gouache sketchbook. It's a moleskin one where I'm doing I guess for me, relatively traditional, that's not gouache, but generally gouache work. And so this is old, this is from 21, a run view. And I was like, let's just not spend, the only hard thing with this is not to spend too much time choosing your image. It's best just to grab a sketchbook or even plan the day before to grab a sketchbook with a page and then get drawing. So I can just show you, whoops. So that was my reference to draw from, and then I just went over this pre-prepared, another altered sketchbook, but this is meant to be my loose sketchbook. And I just went over and I used, what did I use? This is oil pastel. And I feel, what, have I covered it? Oh, I know, that's why I had that sheet of paper, Sonia. Oh no, oh my god, that's why this is here. So this is got, I think I might have gone over that. I think this is soft oil pastel and I have gone over it with clear gesso so it's not coming through. Then day 2, I went to this, which is a fairly recent sketchbook actually. And where's the picture? Oh no, I marked it. I like to have bits of cardboard now, and I use these as the scrapers for the clear gesso and just for paint. and they're good to mark pages. So I had this sketch, which is a super quick one of some plants from a while ago, back in March of, oh my gosh, yeah. So then I did, I started off in this sketchbook, and one of the handy thing is actually in these sort of books is to pre-prepare pages. And I used my soft Artex oil pastels that I did a review of, and because they're to hand, I do like oil pastels for this sort of early morning sketching, because you get the bright colours that I love. And yeah, I don't tend to have to mix them if you've got a big enough set, and you can just get going. The only thing is, how do you fix it? And I have been, then this has a layer of clear gesso. Yeah, and I actually, because this wasn't too much information in this sketch, it allowed me to be a bit inventive and play around a bit more with it. I mean, you could maybe I'm still even being a bit timid, but we'll see how the week progresses. I don't really need to mark that now, do I? Oh, and then because I enjoyed it so, well, okay, well, you saw that picture. I enjoyed that so much, I had time quickly to get out some acrylic gouache, and I did this one. And I sort of went a bit further, like I added some cherry tomatoes because we've been growing them in the garden, and it was morning, I was having a coffee, but I made up that coffee cup because I feel like I've painted my coffee cups so many times I get bored of them. So that was that. And then today I did no, that's all, where is it? Today, this morning, I've got to stop throwing my sketchbooks, they're all going to fall apart. Okay, this morning I've had this little sketchbook, and I was like, can you do something from little tiny sketches? This is a very old sketch from 2015. It was night time. I remember being outside when we were away, and I was like, I had also, in my quest to use up ink tents, I've laid a few. This is going to be a new sketchbook. Oh, here we are. You can see this is me fiddling around with ink tents. And I pre-prepared some, I don't know what's going to happen to that page. But this blue, I was like, okay, I'm going to use it and have a go at doing this sketch again. And yeah, that's where I ended up. On this one, I used Caran d'Ache Neo 2 colour 2s, and also a little bit of, I think, more Pentel oil pastels. Pentel I actually do rate, because I find, yeah, I'm going to smudge a bit, but not too much. And that's where I'm at the moment. So I'm going to carry on with this loosely drawing from Loose Drawings. Oh, here's a quick, I thought there's something else also too, wanted to show. Yeah, did I show this or did I show this on Patreon? I'm confused. These are like some drawings on eyeshadow that I've used as a sort of way of pigment covering, which is quite fun. It's really textured as well. It's just mixed with my good friend clear gesso. Hopefully no one's going to tell me it's really bad or anything, but anyway, so that's what I used. And then here is from my whole Inktense period. These are totally in Inktense, and I am with this. I was like using a brush and using them almost like getting them out as paints, and also I tried dipping the block in water as well. I'm not sure about the whole drawing with them, to be honest, at the moment, but we'll see. Okay, so that is the end of my video for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I hope maybe there's some ideas here for you. And yeah, and I'll be back hopefully next week with another video. Thank you, bye.